RFMF commander has stated that we need urgent action. You know, at the symposium, he sent a very clear message. The speech even said that he's proposing the use of firearms when police are confronted with a situation like that. What are your thoughts on that?
I think my thoughts are quite clear. At the moment, we have an arrangement where the RFMF is on standby to assist the police. Well, we know that many things are associated with drugs, and one of it is weapon, and we run the risk of the police getting confronted with that situation. At the moment, we have a non-police solution, and that is on standby, and that is allowed for under the Public Order Act. If the police are unable to deliver that, and if the threat is such that the police lives are at risk, then we can employ them. Mind you, the laws allow the police to be armed. That's not a question. That's not an issue. Police used to be armed before. Okay, but we need to make sure that the police is ready. Part of the reset needs to determine that. Is the police kitted and ready for this threat, a non-traditional threat? Because drugs will continue to be here. We will do our bit to reduce the harm, to reduce the supply. But that does not mean that it's going to stop coming. Bad people are out there. And then the risks of police being confronted with armed people is definitely a risk. It's out there, it's happening. But I think the need to arm the police on the street, on the beat, I think that's kind of a bit of an overkill right now. I don't think there's something that we are looking at. But definitely, building capability of the police response team, tactical responses, that is important. They need to be capable to do that.
To be able to work with the military?
Well, no, to be able to defend themselves, police.
Defend themselves.
Yes, yeah. The police can be armed. There's no problem to do with that. At the moment when they do drugs.
But not walking the streets. I just want to make it clear.
No. I think let me just clarify
make it clear
that.
For people.
Yeah, let me just clarify that, Vijay. It is different when they're going on a raid where there is a high risk of armed resistance, firearms. It's different on the street when police are on the beat. Right now, there is no need for the police to be armed on the beat. But if there is intelligence that those that have got drugs are armed and will defend it with arms, then the police have to be armed in that respect. And the law allows for it. But that's part of the reset now, to make sure that they are capable.
Properly trained, professional. Because my concern, why I'm asking, because also during the symposium it came out that this major raid in Nandi, the information started, some of the information gathered was in Nosori, and then the tip-off was not given to the West, and this team went over to the West to do that.
That's why we need the reset, Vijay. Confidence building is important. That must never happen. The police is one unit. It's one force. Fiji cannot afford for the police not to be mistrusting of each other. But such is the reality. This has been going on for a while. Because people believe that the police are involved. And let's acknowledge it. The commander called it a national security issue. If law enforcement is involved, what do you do?
Do you see that as a national security issue? The commander stated it.
It is. Drugs is a non-traditional security threat, like many other things, like climate change. It's not only terrorism and all that. Drugs is a big one too. We must acknowledge it for the scale that it is, and I'm not going to shy away from this. Because the reason we cannot shy away, because we understand what it's doing to our people. There should not be no reason for denial. We need to understand the exact nature, so we are putting together the measures to be able to make sure that Fiji is resilient in this regard. And that is, it's led by government, the Narcotics Bureau is there, but at the end of the day, it's a whole of a nation approach to this. But first, the primary agencies of government that deal with law enforcement has to be professional. That's why this reset is important. The force is there to protect the people. And really, I do not expect any resistance in that regard, because we all understand. We all understand that we all need help. including the Fiji police. It's not something to demonize them with, no. It's not. It's like anything, you know. When we recognize we have an issue, we must all come together to fix it. Fiji is a small place. We're all one community. Everyone is almost like related to each other. So it's up to us to fix this problem. So as government, because it owns the police, it needs to do this. It is professional, it is uplifting, it is going to look after our police in their welfare, it looks after their equipment, their work, their families, to be able to allow them to do this, their police work properly, to look after everybody. And at the end of the day, to make sure that they are not corrupt. The systems are in place to make sure that ethos and values, the core values of the force, are maintained. The code of conduct, you know.